So what is up, guys? Super Savage back, and today is one of my videos that I've been waiting to do for a while. It is the 2019 NFL playoff predictions. Man, I've been waiting for this. This season's been full of surprises, like the Browns not actually sucking, or the Vikings, Steelers, and Jaguars not making the playoffs. I mean, the Jaguars had a horrible season, and the Vikings and the Steelers had quite the decline. So, this season's been full of surprises, but now we have made the playoffs. 12 teams enter, only one team comes out. So I'll be going over all the teams. We have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, before I get into the teams, I mean, I already mentioned the Chiefs, but I decided, I don't have any, football helmets, but I do have my own bracket that I already filled out. So, in order to represent the teams, I brought back the baseball helmets since I don't have mini football helmets. So, representing the number one seed in the AFC, the Chiefs, I chose the Kansas City Royals helmet to represent them. For the Patriots, I chose the Red Sox helmet to represent them. They're the number 2 seed. Number 3 seed, the Texans. They'll be represented by the Astros. Number 4, the Baltimore Ravens will be represented by the Orioles. Number 5, the Chargers. Number 5 seed will be represented by the Angels. And the number 6 seed, the Indianapolis Colts, will be represented by the Cleveland Indians. Now, hang on, you might be asking, there is no Indianapolis baseball team or any team that plays in Indianapolis. But the Cleveland Indians, I decided just because of the C. Now go to the NFC. Number 1 seed, New Orleans Saints. No New Orleans team, but they are represented by the Blue Jays because the Saints are my favorite NFL team and the Blue Jays are my favorite baseball team. Go Saints, who dat nation. LA Rams will be represented by the Dodgers, the number 2 seed. Chicago Bears are represented by the Cubs. They were the number 3 seed. Number 4 seed, the Dallas Cowboys, represented by the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers, they play in Arlington, which is very close to Dallas. And the Texas Rangers are right next to where the stadium where the Rangers play is right next to where the stadium where the Cowboys play. Seattle Seahawks will be represented by the Seattle Mariners. They're the 5th seed. And finally, the final seed, Philadelphia Eagles, represented by the Phillies. Now, how the NFL playoffs work. Unlike other playoffs, it's just a one-game series. Just you win and you continue, or you lose and you're out. Now, the top 2 teams in each conference get a bye, and there's the wild card week where all the teams that didn't get a bye, they play to play the teams that did get a bye. So, the 3v6 seed, the winner of that will go to play either the 1 or 2 seed, and then the 4 or 5 seed will play the 1 or 2 seed. Now, in the divisional round, the number 1 seed in each conference will play the lowest seed from each conference, and the number 2 seed will play the highest seed left in each conference, and then the conference round will be the winner of all the each conference has their own. The winners of the divisional games will play in the conference championship, and then the top 2 teams, and then the top team from the AFC and the top team from the NFC will face off in the Super Bowl, which is taking place at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Now, there is the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, but that's in New Orleans, so completely different story. Now, let's get this video started. Let's start off with the first prediction, with the first game, Indianapolis Colts versus Houston Texans. Indianapolis Colts finished the season 10-6 with the 6th seed. You know, they had quite the season, going from 1-5 to 10-6. And a big thing that's working for them, they're healthy again. Andrew Luck is back, baby. He's back, and he's more protected than ever, especially with his offensive line. Last year, the Colts were the team that got sacked the most. This time, their team got sacked the least because their offensive line improved, mainly to their man Quentin Nelson, who may be short, but he's got quite the body. They also got guys on offense like T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron, Marlon Mack. If I have to find a defense, it's their pass defense. Their secondary isn't as good because if they're allowing Eli Manning to throw at more than 300 passing yards without Odell Beckham Jr. against them, that's a problem because he is quite the ineptitude. Now the Houston Texans, once again, they are healthy. Deshaun Watson's back. J.J. Watt's back. All their important guys are back. But the big guy, DeAndre Hopkins, wasn't injured last season, but still making big plays after big plays. If I have to find a weakness, it's the wide receiver. Now, I know Hopkins is the best wide receiver, but other than that, all their other good wide receivers, they're gone. They don't have them. They're not going to be available. And the running game isn't really that great. They got a great defense, but honestly, they've got a couple of issues on offense. But to pick a winner in this, the Houston Texans will win this one, and they will go to Foxborough to face the Patriots. Now we go to the next game. Seattle Seahawks and Dallas Cowboys. The Seattle Seahawks, they had quite an interesting season. I thought that they would be in the basement of the league, but they shocked me, finished 10-6, and I forgot Texans finished 11-5. Seahawks, they finished 10-6. They've got Russell Wilson, who is like the one-man show, but he's also got guys like Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson. Just their offense is a big part of them. Now, if I could find a weakness, they don't exactly have the Legion of Boom anymore. Like, it's a lot weaker. The defense is weaker than it was last year, but they have still been able to stop big teams. Like, they have made games with the LA Rams competitive. They've been able to take out the Chiefs. They can make games competitive. And now let's go to the Dallas Cowboys, who are 10-6. And also back to the Seahawks. I mean, they don't have Legion of Boom, and most of their playoff games will be played on the road, which is a big problem because they're way better at home. And now we go to the Dallas Cowboys, who finished the season 10-6, mainly because, I mean, the Redskins had the division lead, but they choked it away because they had to play quarterback carousel after Alex Smith went out like Joe Theismann. And the Eagles, well, they did not perform well against the Cowboys. So if the Eagles did split a game with them, I think the Eagles maybe could have won the division, and the Cowboys would end up being the 5th seed, and Seahawks could be 6th. But who knows? So I got way off topic there, but they have quite the balance. They have quite the defense, and they also have Ezekiel Elliott at running back, who is one of the best in the league. Now Dak Prescott is a bit of a weakness. Like, he's a guy that can be hit or miss, but he's been a lot more hit ever since they traded for Amari Cooper. Like, now he has another guy that he can hit that's actually good. But, I don't know. He can be hit or miss, and you can't just rely on Ezekiel Elliott. Like, I mean, yes you can, but I don't think Elliott can get it done. If Elliott can't get it done, if Dak can't get it done, they can't get it done, they're not going to win. So if I have to pick a winner, I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're going to pull off the upset. And now we move on to the Chargers versus the Ravens, a rematch. And the Chargers, they finished the season 12-4. They've also got a balanced team with Keenan Allen at wide receiver, Melvin Gordon at running back, and Phillip Rivers as their quarterback. And they've also got quite the defense. Now, I can't exactly name a defense because I follow way more offensively than I do defensively, so it's just a thing. So if I have to find a weakness, where's their mid game? Where's their tight end? They do not have a good tight end. They got the short game, they got the long game on offense, but their their tight end, they don't exactly have a tight end. So if I have to, let's go to the Baltimore Ravens. They finished 10-6, but they finished first in the AFC North, so they get the 4 seed. The name of their game is defense. Defense. One of the top defenses in the league, if I have to find, and they also have quite a great rushing game. I mean, a weakness is the passing game. And you could say Lamar Jackson because he's more of a rushing quarterback than he is a passing quarterback. And I think, I'm not sure, experience, like Phillip Rivers and Lamar Jackson don't really have that much playoff experience. Because it's Jackson's first year in the playoffs. And the passing game for them hasn't exactly been stellar. They don't exactly have their, like, star wide receiver like other teams do. Because they're more on the rush and the defense. So Jackson, I don't know, he could completely fall apart, and I think he will, as the Chargers are heading back to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. And now we get to the final match. The Chicago Bears versus the Philadelphia Eagles. God damn it, I almost said Phillies. So, what to make of it? So the Eagles, they went 9-7 this season. You know, they had an interesting season. They had some bad losses, but now they're back in the playoffs. And if the big part of their game is the passing. The passing has been incredible. Nick Foles is back, and he's just as good as he was last year. He got Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar and Zach Ertz, and even Golden Tate. Well, I mean, he did get traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, but he hasn't really done much because their offense is already good enough that they don't exactly need Golden Tate, but Golden Tate's there just in case they do need him. If I do have to find a weakness, the rush isn't that good. And neither is the defense. Their defense is nowhere as strong as it was last year. To be honest, it's been pretty bad. They don't exactly have the great defense that they did. And the Bears, the main part of their game, they're a lot like the Ravens. Defense and the rush. I mean, Khalil Mack, that was a huge trade. Now they have the best defense in the league. He's a game changer. And at the rush, they got Jimmy Howard, Tariq Cohen. I mean, they're okay running backs. I mean, once again, a big weakness I could find is Trubisky is a hit or miss guy. Either he'll have a big performance or a bad performance. Like, he's not exactly an in-between. I found that the same like with Dak Prescott. So if I have to pick a winner in this, well, I mean, my bracket already says it. The Philadelphia Eagles. They will go and play the New Orleans Saints. Now, let's see. I'm going to do my divisional picks now. So, now we have the Kansas City Chiefs facing the Los Angeles Chargers. They faced off twice this season. They split the series 1-1. Chiefs are 12-4, but they won tiebreakers. Because, yeah. I mean, the main part of their game is offense. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Their defense, I mean, they don't have a defense. Find a good passing quarterback and they'll just light you up. I mean, I'll be honest, and I've already touched up on the Chargers. Like, honestly, these two have had great games this season. This game, to me, could go either way, but if I have to pick a winner, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Sorry, Chargers, you made it far, but you just came up short. And now we're going to move on to the next game, which is the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Rams, they're also a very balanced team. Great on defense, mainly with Aaron Donald, who's going for Defensive Player of the Year, or MVP, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks. I mean, they got the offense, they got the defense. I mean, not as much Gurley since he is injured. Weakness I could find is secondary, since they have been in a lot of shootout games. And, yeah, their secondary isn't as good, but Goff could be a big question mark, since he hasn't been great. He hasn't exactly been the greatest recently. So, honestly, once again, this game could be a toss-up. Will it be Seattle who takes up with their offensive attack with their slightly weaker defense? Like, this is going to be an offensive clash. These two have had very close matches all season long. But I think the LA Rams at the end will pull out on top like they did in all their matches. And now we move on to the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans. Now, the New England Patriots have not had a season to remember. I mean, they went 11-5, which is the worst that they have gone in their most recent years. So we got Tom Brady still leads that offense, got his receivers, Julian Edelman and Chris Hogan. Now, Gronkowski hasn't been exactly hot this year, but they have also got the rush in James White and Sony Michel. If I have to find a weakness, of course, it is their defense. They don't have, like, the greatest defense in the league. And Texans also have a very good defense. So it's going to be an offensive clash, but I think at the end, the Houston Texans will also pull it out. It'll be a shootout, but this time the defense of the Texans will respond, and they'll win. Texans will win, and the Patriots are not making it far. And now my final prediction, well, at least for now, the Saints and the Eagles. So the Saints, they've got the offense, they got the offense, they've got the rush defense, they got the offense of Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Cameron Jordan, Marcus Davenport, and their rush D is one of the best in the league. Weakness, of course, secondary. They're not exactly the greatest against the pass. So I have to pick a winner. I mean, Philly, I think their defense, once again, both teams don't have exactly a great defense to remember, but I think New Orleans will completely shell their defense like they did earlier this season. So there you have it. The championship rounds. For the AFC, it'll be the Chiefs and the Texans, and for the NFC, it'll be the Saints and the Rams. But that is all for now. I'm going to have to make a part 2 since what I filmed this on, I can only film it up to 15 minutes, so there will have to be a part 2 to this video. It'll be a lot shorter. But you know what? Thank you all for watching this. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2, and I'll be leaving a link to the description below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at SudaSavage. Y'all, thank y'all for watching. Have a great day.